So what we're going to look through here is we're going to derive two formulas. Number one, we're going to figure out where the formula for triangle comes from. So area equals 1/2 base times height. The definition of a triangle, of course, is a three-sided polygon. And a polygon, of course, has straight sides. There's no curves. It's closed, etc. But I do want to point out where the triangle formula comes from. So the best way to consider it is just to draw any old triangle. So notice I'm not trying to make it look like a right triangle. I'm not trying to make it look like an equilateral or an isosceles, just a regular triangle. Now, if we copy, paste, and rotate this situation, notice what happens. I could copy, paste, and rotate it right up against it. So what shape is this large shape?
Parallelogram.
We now have a parallelogram. And of course, the area for a parallelogram is base times height. Just to give you a heads up, base does not mean bottom. It can be the lowest most it can be on the bottom. However, base just simply means this, that it's perpendicular to the height. So the important part is not that base is on the bottom, but that base and height are perpendicular. So here, if I were to sketch something here, this could be my height right there, like this. And this one could be my base. Again, base does not have to be on the bottom. So notice with triangle, if I were to just focus on this triangle right here and not this one here, I just take a parallelogram and cut it in half. Trapezoid is a quadrilateral with one pair of parallel sides. So when we're finding the area of a trapezoid, we say area is equal to 1/2 B1 plus B2 times the height. And in the diagram, if we just drew a standard looking diagram here, the key thing is that I have parallel sides, so those would be my bases. And then your height would just be something like this, like that. Again, if I start off with a nice little trapezoid, like so, and if I copy, paste, and rotate, again, notice what happens. I would end up getting, so here's my B2 and here's my B1. Notice that my B2 is now up here and my B1 is now down here. And we end up with, in this case, kind of looks like a large rectangle, but we could say parallelogram for the fun of it. So I'm just going to assume for now that these are 90 degrees. So there we go. Now notice the area of this large situation would be add the B1 plus B2 multiplied by your H. So that's the area of this large thing. So if we say B1 plus B2, and so our area is like this, but of course all we have to do now is cut this thing in half. So there's a derivation of the two different formula that we are